Hey, third grade, and welcome back. It is week 4, day 3, so this should be Wednesday. So Wednesday means you should have your freckle fact practice done. You should have 2 of them done, and materials you're going to need today. Today we are going over how to read different graphs. So you're going to need something to write with, and something to write on. So we're going to do our word problem. We're going to rip it apart, and let's see what we've got. R, read the problem. I, identify the important information. P, plan how to solve the problem. P, draw a picture. E, execute your plan and solve it. And D, does it make sense? Let's take a look. First thing first, we are going to write right up top. We're going to do our ripped. R-I-P-P-E-D. Ripped. Let's read it. It says, Fran bought 9 yards of fabric. How many feet of fabric did Fran buy? Hint. 1 yard equals 3 feet. So let's see. We read the problem. I, identify the important information. Let's see. Fran bought 9 yards. 9 yards of fabric is very important. 9 yards. How many feet of fabric did Fran buy? So we have it in yards and we need to transfer into feet. So that's important. Now they also gave us a hint. It says 1 yard equals 3 feet. That's important. So what's the question? The question is, how many feet did Fran buy? So we need to know, how many feet did Fran buy? Okay, makes sense. So we identified our important information. P, make a plan. Well, we know that she bought 9 yards, okay? And they want it in feet. So I know I'm doing a metric transfer of yards to feet, okay? Makes sense. And I need to think to myself, are yards larger or smaller than feet? And when I look at the hint, it says 1 yard is 3 feet. So if 1 yard is 3 feet, and I've got 9 of these, my number is probably going to go higher. That would be my guess. This is kind of my plan here. So I have 9 groups of 3. Okay, so if 1 yard is 1 group of 3, 9 yards is 9 groups of 3. Oh my gosh, that just sounded like a multiplication problem. Sure did. So my plan and my picture, I'm going to draw, when I think of yards, I think them in like rows, a big old tape. So kind of like a tape diagram. So I'm going to make a tape diagram. And I'm going to have 9 yards. So here's my yard. My 9 yards of fabric. 9 yards means I'm going to make 1 less cut. So 8 cuts. 8 cuts. That would be its even number. So it's not right in the middle. So I'm going to go a smidge on either side of the middle. And then I know that I need, let's see, if that was 2, so I've got 6 cuts left, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3, and 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3. So I have 9 pieces. Now, is mine perfect? Look at my centerpiece. He's a little fat, but that's okay. As long as you have the idea, there are 9 pieces. And each piece has 3 feet in there. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and what? 3. You knew it. So 3. So we have 9 yards and 3 feet in each. This sounds like a multiplication problem to me. So I've got 9 groups of 3. 9 groups of 3, and I can easily, let's see, 1, 2, 3, put my third finger down. How many fingers on this side? Boop, boop. 2. How many fingers on this side total? 5, 6, 7. So my answer would be 2 and a 7. Let's see. 27. Outstanding, but it's 27. It's a word problem, so it's going to be 27 feet. Beautiful. F-E-E-T, or I could say F-T would be fine. So how many yards did Fran buy? 27 feet. We executed it. Does it make sense? D. When I look at this, and we talked in the beginning, we said that yards, 1 yard, let me put my pencil down, 1 yard was 3 feet. We knew our number was going to get bigger because I had 9 of these, and for every one of these, I get 3 yards. So we knew our number was going to get bigger. So bigger makes sense. So we knew we were going to either add or multiply. To make a bigger number, you add or multiply. So adding wouldn't make sense. 9 plus 3. Multiplying 9 times 3 makes sense. And I look at this number and I say 9 times 3, that's very close to 3 times 10, which would have been 30, and now 1 less. So it's 27. Does it make sense? Darn tootin'. So I'm going to cross that off. Good job. Now we are going to take a look at reading different graphs. Now all the last 2 weeks we have gone, well, it's been 2 weeks. We have gone over different graphs. We've gone over line plots just the other day. We've gone over bar graphs, horizontal and vertical. So we've gone over line plot, bar graphs of vertical and horizontal, and we've also gone over pictograph. So there are 5 different types that we've looked at, even though the 4 different. How did I get another one in there? Let's see. Line plot. Oh, I added that one. Oh, line plot. Okay, bar graph, horizontal, bar graph, vertical, and our pictograph. There are 4 different graphs. Whew-wee. Glad I wasn't counting this week. So there were 4 different graphs that we needed to look at. So we're going to take a look at them. We're going to answer some questions and see how we do. All right. See you back in a bit. Okay, reading bar graphs. Let's see what we're going to look at. We have our very first one, and it says, favorite ice cream flavors of Washington West students. What? You know it. So that information where you guys filled in your favorites, this is going to be your information. Who answered and what kind of answers we got. Now, looking at my key, I can see right away that 1 full ice cream cone equals 2 votes. Okay, so 1 full ice cream cone equals 2 votes. One of the things we need to do before we answer any questions about a bar graph, a pictograph, a line plot graph, is we need to look at the information that's around it. And that would be the key. That would also be the title. What are we talking about? And that would be our categories. So those are the things that we need to make sure that we take a look at and that we notice before we even look at questions. All right, so let's bring on the first question. How many students like vanilla ice cream? Well, so I look at this and I know that there are 2 full ice cream cones. And I know that each one of these, according to my key, is worth 2 votes. So I would say 2, and this would be 2. So 2 and 2 would be 4. And then I have 1 half one. He's not a full ice cream cone, is he? So that is just a 1. He's only worth 1. So that would be 2, 4, and 5. So 5 students like vanilla ice cream. Good. Next question. How many more students liked other flavors than chocolate? So how many students liked other flavors more than chocolate? Let's see. So let's take a look. When we look at the other, I can count that up, and I would say 2, 4, 6, and 8. And there were some good flavors that were listed on there. Salted caramel, lots of good ones. So 8 students chose other, and 1 student chose chocolate. So I would then set up my equation of 8 minus 1 equals, and that would be 7. Let's take a look at the next question. How many people voted? How many people voted? Well, how would I figure this out? I'm going to have to look at all my ice cream cones. And I know looking at other, there's 8 people who voted there. I know looking at my vanilla, there's 5 people that voted there. I see chocolate has 1. So I'm just going to have to figure out how many people voted in each category and add them all up. Or I could count up all the ice cream cones because it doesn't matter what flavors they are. So I could just count up all the ice cream cones and multiply it by 2 and then add my 1/2ers in there. That might be interesting. Let's see how this works. So I've got 1, 2 whole ones, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 whole ice cream cones, and each cone is worth 2. So I would then say 10 times 2, and 10 times 2, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2. So I've got 20, and then I've got my half cups. So I've got 1/2 cup, 2 half cups, 3, and 4. And each one of those are worth 1. So 20 plus 4 equals 24. Fantastic. So let's take a look at our next graph. And our next graph is a vertical bar graph. And you can see right on here, I've got my title. So I've got my title, Favorite Colors of 3rd Grade Washington West Students. I've got my colors down below that were selected. I've got what goes up the side, but it's the students. And here is my interval. So I can see that going up one line is worth 2. We're counting by 2 up every line. Good. So that's the first thing I look at before I look at any questions. Now let's take a look at a question. How many students liked blue the most? So looking at blue, I can see I follow the blue and it goes up past the 8, but not to the 10. So what number would be in between 8 and 10? Well, 9. Good deal. Let's take a look. Next question. How many students liked red and black the most? Ooh, red and black. So I'm going to be looking at adding those together, the red and the black. So when I look at red and it goes up to past the 4, but not to the 6. So I'm looking at 5. And then I look at the black, and the black goes right to the 2 line. So 5 plus 2 is 7. And my last question for this chart, or this graph, how many more students liked red and purple than blue? So how many more students liked red and purple? So we got to figure out how much is purple. When I look at purple, purple goes right to this line telling me that there are 6 votes. So there's 6 votes there. Blue had 9. So let's see, we need to figure out what red and purple are. Red and purple together. So 6 plus 5 is 11. And then it's how many more than blue. So 11 minus 9 equals 2. Looks good. Let's check out our next graph. Looking at our graph now, it is a horizontal. That means it goes side to side, not up and down. And this one is favorite pets of 3rd grade Washington West students. So you guys voted again, and we can see that we've got our number of students, and that's down below, and it's at an interval. So from one spot to the next, one line is of 2. So we have an interval of 2. We have our title up top that tells us what we're looking at. And then we have the names on the side. Those are all the different pets, all the different things that you voted on. Okay, so now that we know our information, let's get these questions going. How many students chose small furry animals as their favorite pets? So I'm going to find small and furry. And I see small furries. And I follow that out and I go right down. And it takes me to 6. So 6 people chose small furries as their favorite pet. Let's see. Next question. How many more people chose dogs over reptiles and fish? Ooh, this is one of those double questions again. So how many more people chose dogs over reptiles and fish? So reptiles, all right, I'm looking at reptiles here. And it goes to this first line, so that's 2. And fish goes to 2. So I've got 2 and 2. And dogs, what did dogs come to? So I find dogs, and I go out to the end. It's past the 6, but not quite to the 8, so that is 7. So now I have to add up my reptiles and dogs. So I'm going to say 2 plus 2 equals 4. And then how many more people? So I'm going to be subtracting. So I'm going to say 7 minus 4 equals 3. Good job. Boop, 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 boop. And next question. How many students chose dogs and cats as their favorite pets? So dogs and cats, we are looking at adding those together. So cats, I follow the cats and I look at the line. It takes me out to 5. So 5 people chose cats and 7 people chose dogs. So 5 plus 7 equals, dun da da, 12. Good deal. Now we are looking at a line plot graph. Now, if you look, there's some pieces missing on my line plot graph because we're going to kind of look and fill them in as we would go. Now, filling in a line plot graph, normally I would have like a tally chart or a tally chart or a frequency table, or I would just have a list of things. And as I check them off, I would add their X's on top of these spots. So first thing we're going to measure, it says favorite indoor activities of Washington West 3rd grade students. So I have my title up there, and then I would start putting in my X's. So I found that one student liked board games. Then I see that 3 students, and you could see as we would put them on, but when you're building them, you would actually build from the bottom up. Okay, then we have, and if you see creative, so there's quite a few X's coming in as they would be added, but they'd be built from the bottom. That was my bad. So built from the bottom up, one person likes singing, art, or YouTube. Puzzles. And then we have, you can see video games is building right in here. Now, that is all of my X's. Those are all of my votes. So looking at this, sadly, I see a category that did not have a vote, but maybe because people really enjoyed the other stuff more. So let's see. Our first question says, how many students liked to be creative? So I would find the creative section, and I'm just going to count my X's, or they're kind of like tallies. So count my X's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 students liked being creative. Next question. How many more students liked video games to board games? So let's see, we can count up our video games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there'd be 8 there. And board games, we have 1. So we're looking at 8 minus 1 because it's how many more. 8 minus 1 is 7. Last question. What categories have only one vote? So looking at this, what categories only have one vote? So which ones only have one X? Well, I can see that board games only have one X. I can see that singing, art, and YouTube only have one X. And I can see that puzzles only have one X. So we have 3 categories that only have one X. And sadly, we have one category who has no X's. I do like to read, though. All right, so I hope you guys are all set with how to read the different graphs that we've gone over. And like I said, we've gone over a line plot, we've gone over a bar graph, a vertical and a horizontal, and we've also gone over the pictograph. Tomorrow, we're going to build them. So see you then. Bye.